If you're a young lawyer especially, niches are levelizers. As there are practice areas today in social media or even marijuana law that didn't exist 10 years ago. So as a young lawyer, you're not at a disadvantage to somebody who's been practicing for a long time. And so as a young attorney, you want to focus on these new areas because they level the playing field. My name is Carolyn Elefant. I am the owner of the law offices of Carolyn Elefant in Washington, D.C., and I also blog at myshingle.com, which I've been running since 2002. It's the longest running blog on solo and small firm practice. Today I talked about niche practice. I call it Be That Lawyer, and the reason I call it that is because you want to be that lawyer that people remember. To me, the term niche means a focus on a particular segment of the market. I don't really consider a niche to be something like family law or estate law, which is just so broad and encompasses so many different areas and demographics. So a niche can be a demographic segment where you are targeting, say, women, college students, football players, well, something like that. A geographic segment is you're targeting a particular local area, so you'll often see, and in fact I saw at this bar today, there's a presentation on Wisconsin breweries. So that's something that's geographic. It can be a subset of a practice area, so for example, something like student loan law or different types of consumer credit law might be a subset of consumer law or bankruptcy law. And then it can also be a method of delivering services. So the example I gave at the talk was a house call lawyer. He was another guy who I met at a lunch, and he does estate planning, but his means of delivering estate planning services is going to people's houses and meeting with them there. So those are 4 different types of niche practices that are unique market segments. I think the first tip would be do something that you're excited about or passionate about. I think that one thing a niche allows you to do is really kind of break out of the rut in your practice. And so if you're going to go and do a niche, first find something that just really excites and intrigues you, and don't necessarily worry about the financial value of it, because it doesn't have to be your whole practice. You don't have to leave your quote-unquote day job of your regular practice. So find something that's really interesting. The second thing is to educate people about it. Niche practice really lends itself to educational type of marketing. So put together a small book that answers frequently asked questions about your niche practice, or a checklist that somebody can follow. Those kinds of things have the potential to go viral because people will pass it on from one person to the next. The third recommendation would be to just always keep your eyes open for new areas. Read the headlines, see what kinds of things are out there, and see if there's an opportunity that you can capitalize on, because you can be the first mover in this new area, and it can really give you an edge. With niches, it's also, the marketing is very manageable because it's so targeted. So you can go right to your audience. So as opposed to being the single lawyer who's trying to market a bankruptcy practice or an estate planning practice with hundreds of other lawyers, if you're marketing to entrepreneurs from China or from Europe, you can target that. And so you could even experiment with using search terms on Google or Facebook ads. And that's something that ordinarily would be completely priced out of your market, but because you're so narrow, it's something you could experiment with. Educational marketing is definitely something to do, because it's you want to educate people to let them know they have legal problems in that area. And another thing is to make yourself accessible to reporters. One of the websites I talked about at my presentation is called Help a Reporter Out. And it's basically, it's a listserv where every week or every day there are a bunch of inquiries from reporters on different topics, and they're often very narrow topics, like about fitness centers or legal issues related to marijuana. And so you could very easily become a source for a reporter in an emerging area, and that's just going to catapult you to the front of the news. I mean, it's no better advertising than that. I really encourage people to explore niche, especially if you feel that you're in a rut with your practice, because it's such an easy way to learn new skills without giving up your source of income, your steady job, and it's also a way to really help make the law. You're dealing often in areas that are completely new and completely emerging, and it's really an opportunity to not just practice law but also make new law, and I think that's very, very exciting.